Good morning, everyone. We have a twin flame read for you today. Let's go ahead and take a deep breath. Sending lots of love and blessings out to everybody. It's a beautiful sunny day outside here today in the Philadelphia area. Today is the 10th, January 10th, 2021. The 10 is that Wheel of Fortune, the turn for the better, destiny. The day adds up to 16 today is the Tower. Wow, sudden destiny. That's a cool energy. Starting from yesterday, since I started this read yesterday for today, and yesterday's energies was the Devil of 15 and the 9 of the Hermit, which is quite a difference because the Hermit's very within and can get very much too much into the head on the negative side of it, and then the Devil coming in, so that could accentuate that. And then today coming into the Tower and the Wheel, right? A sudden turn for the better in its best light. So let's see here. I cut the SIRIAN Starseed deck at 11:13 yesterday. It was yesterday afternoon or morning. 11 is justice and 13 is the death card, or the transition card, the ending, the transformation. At 11:21, I was getting our deity, like our deity, and then the Y, accentuating the long line in the Y, right? The direct path, right? Because on a Y, the way we draw it, if you start from the stem, one path is direct, the other one you actually have to turn left. And it's saying to stay on the path that you're on, like you're on, just go straight. That was 11:21, which is justice in the world. I finished clarifying at 11:41, which is justice and the Ace of Cups, right? Self-love, spiritual love, new love. And the major arcana in this read are reason, which is the Emperor, ascension, which is the world, justice, and solar deity. And solar deity, of course, is the sun. Before the read, because I always pull a few cards on either end of the read, for those of you not familiar with my read, in the beginning, before the read, was the Lovers and Luna, the moon. And after the read, Shadow, which is the devil, and Alchemy came up, which is the Temperance card. We had 2 swords, 2 cups, 1 wand, and 2 pentacles. And the court cards were the Page of Swords and the Queen of Cups. Before the read, the King of Wands and the Page of Wands also came up. The numbers significant today, we had quite a few doubles here. Most significant was double 3s. That's the Christ vibration and the 7 of Wands, standing up for yourself, taking the high road, the high ground, perhaps standing your territory. And then we had 55, which is the truth, the Ace of Swords, and 99, which is all about compassion and endings. And then 22 came up as well. And 22 is the Fool, right? The beginning of the Fool's journey. That's also the end of the major arcana. The code line here is all about the number 873, which equals 18. So 18 also the moon. And the code line was all about change today. So it's very interesting. In some of the stuff that was coming up here from the code line, the numbers 3 and 5 were come up. And I wrote at the top of my page here that the 3 is the node points. Because I always wonder that, like 5 is expansion and change, but the symbol for change is the triangle, which is the 3. So I'm like, okay, why are they part of the same thing? And I was getting that 3 are the node points and that the 5 is connecting the dots, the actual change. And we'll get into more of that in a second, because not only did it come up for me in my read, but in a video I watched last night, 305. Oh, no, it wasn't even a video. It was I watched the Da Vinci Code the night before last, and then last night I watched Angels and Demons or Demons and Angels, whichever way it goes, because I don't think I'd ever watched it before. And one of the numbers that came up, which had to do with the Illuminati, I think it was 503. So there's something significant there for sure, because they don't use numbers for no reason. So the code line here was all about change, and 873, as well as 18, which is a 9. And the code line here was coming up in a couple different ways. So the trademark of 8, 7, and 3, and I was getting 8 as the dance, 7 as the key, and then Trinity, the 3. 8 the dance, 7 the key, and 3 the Trinity. The also is coming up as 8 being the lock, 7 the key, and 3 being the lock opened, which was really cool. I'd never seen that before. And it was so cool because it had to do with angels and demons, or demons, I think it's angels and demons, because I was paying attention to the codes again, and I'll get into some of those codes I got from that movie too. And part of what I got from the movie was drawing the lock at the end. When he got into the guy's desk drawer, the key that he had, and the lock that it went into, I drew the shape of it, and I'll tell you about that when I get to it. So the trademark of the 873 dance. The dance, the key, the Trinity, the lock, the key, and then the opening of it. The 2 sine waves, because the 8 is 2 sine waves dancing together. The lovers out in the cold of heart and emotions. The divine Sophia Christ God, right? The Trinity as change. Okay, so when you're feeling out in the cold, it's just because you're going through the odd number, or the expansion, the change. Just like the Sophia Christ God, there's 3. It's the expansion, the triangle, the change. So also to toggle up, to emit or experience, maser radiation was coming up here, to crush, squeeze, mislead, or bewilder, to nag, but also the fish in Pisces was coming up here, and Pisces is the end of the cycle. You know, Pisces has one foot into the other realm already because they're the end of the cycle. The word maze was coming up, M-A-S-E, which has a lot of those definitions there. And then TM, for me, you know, is usually trademark when it first comes up. But it also means in, I guess this was Egyptian, but I'm not positive about that. But TM is basically F you, or up yours, which is kind of funny. It's the word tame, T-A-M-A, tame. To be complete, this is TM, finish, everything, totality. It means God and Atum, the god Atum from Heliopolis. And notice Heliopolis has hell in it, okay? The divide, the strength of the chariot and the 3 of cups, coming together to divide and conquer, or divide then unionize as change, break down and rebuild in change. So there's so much about change here today, and the 3 and the 5. So then the word Disaka was coming up from the code line. Where was that? Yeah, Disaka. And the only, Disaka doesn't come up by itself as a word, but it does come up with rid, disaccharide, which has to do with 2 monosaccharide sugars combined. So notice there's two monos to become a disaccharide, just like saccharin, but this just has to do with sugars. And the release of an obligation or problem of that sugar, or that 2-part sugar. To free or to kill, to banish, to rid, to the wrinkle of the burrow, the crease line on your forehead. It also, another variation of this word comes up as the enzymes that break down the disaccharides into the monosaccharides. And then Saka is coming up as to download, to understand, to draw, to pull out, to export, to certify even, to extract or remove, a bag or a sack as well. And then 2 sakas come up, or 2 sagas. The sorceress, the witch, the fairy tale, the vine. The vine with small red black seeds. And that's all. I was drawing the cross keys of the papal from the Angels and Demons last night. And, you know, that's all about red and black. used as beads, and also soccer was coming up here, and the bean plant, the long story, the history, the saga. A female fortune teller also comes up under sagas. The button, the legend, to saw, to cut something, saying, statement, tale or narrative, report or dissonance. So again, then starting over with the code line, complete, totality, the god Atum, or having sex, as in Egyptian it was coming up as up yours, which is something I would never say, but I'm just letting you know the definition. The totality of this in the dance of the chariot and coming together, two stories, two statements, two fairy tales, not on the same page, equals change. The trademark of two sine waves in coming together in the chariot, the divine masculine within the divine feminine, the divine feminine inside the divine masculine, to confront and merge, divide and fall in order to bring change that you are looking for. And then they were showing me the square, because I always talk about the square turning on its side, but you don't turn the square a quarter turn because then it becomes the same square again. You turn it an eighth of turn, right? The 8 of the dance, because then it becomes the diamond to open the lock. You just need to change your perspective. That's the key. Not a quarter turn, but an eighth turn is all that is needed. Not a quarter note, but an eighth note to pick up the pace, the vibration. From black or block to diamond is just a small shift. Don't overdo it, or you might miss it. The curveball. You must be present, or you miss the turn. And this message came in right after I was waiting. The clock was about to turn 11:11, and then I got into a thought, and I totally missed the 11:11. So it's reminding you to be present in every moment. So this is where I was getting into some of the symbology around the numbers. So at 12:37, which is the Hangman and the King of Cups, I was getting the numbers 1 through 9. And for most of you who know me, because you've watched a while, I've been doing numerology all my life since I was in my 20s. And I learned from the Divine Triangle, the numerology book, the Divine Triangle, which is all about the Pythagorean theorem, that the squares of the two sides of a triangle equals the square of the hypotenuse. And it's literally squares drawn off of each line of the triangle. So 1 to 2 was coming up as the balance, right? You have the masculine and the feminine, the initiation of something new, brand new, into the cycle, to the 2, which is then the balance, right? The feminine sees the other point of view. 1 to 2 is balance, it's new, seeing eye to eye in connection. But 3 to 4, and 3 is a third, becomes 4 is the blocks to clear, because you're stuck at home, right? So 4 is that stability, but then you're stuck at home with blocks to clear. Then the 5 comes up as the change, the triangle, expansion to 6 is the expansion into 0 point, is the expansion to the lovers at the 6, right? You're expanding the home, so then you bring in a lover to make it more interesting and to continue the change. And then 7 to 8 is the key to the dance, which again is the change. And we get the key, the dance, from 7 to 8, because then 9 to 10, of course, is the transition again. The fall into 0 point, because you have the 9 and the 10. 10 is the transition from the ending of that cycle into the 11 of the next cycle, which would be the 1 of the next cycle. So it's the 0 of 0 point going right into the 1 of the next cycle. That's the 10. So the 9 is the end, the fall, into 0 point of the 10, and then to start again of the 1, which then falls right into the 11, the reset. Just like when you wake up in the morning, you reset. It's that quantum leap. Like before you go to sleep at night and then wake in the morning, there is a reset. The same way there is a reset after you cry, right? What's the difference between when you started crying and when you finish crying? Why don't you need to cry anymore? The situation you're crying about hasn't changed, only your perspective. It was a quantum leap that reset you. So then they were showing me I was talking about the 3 being the node points and the 4 being, or excuse me, the 5 being the connection. And which is kind of interesting too, because then even with the connection with the triangle, there's still 3 more lines. So that makes it 6, not 5. So they were guiding me to the symbols of the different numbers and the node points. So of course 1 is the node point. It's not the line, it's the point. The 2 is the 2 node points then which make connection. Okay? Then the triangle is the 3 node points. The square is the 4 node points. The 5 then becomes a square with a triangle on top. It is the home. So after the home, you need a roof on it to protect it. That is the change, right? The expansion. Then after the home, which is the square with a triangle on top of it, it becomes two squares on top of each other, the 6 node points, which also is the 8, by the way. And the 8 becomes the bed and the dance, the sexual dance, right? So once you have 1, then you have 2, then you have 3 because you want a social life. You want to bring another energy to mix it up a little bit. But then you move into a home, which brings a lot of change into your life, lots of things for you to do, new things to open, new things to buy. But then you need a roof on it and expand the home in some way. There needs to be something once you're done with, if your home's perfect, then there needs to be change again. So then we come back to 2 squares on top of each other, which is then the bed, right? The dance of the sex life, the connection, which then creates the triangle on top of the 2 squares, which then is a phallic symbol, the sexual changes. The next change then goes to the 8. The 8 node points is then 3 squares on top of each other, which then becomes Jacob's ladder, climbing higher. And then we have to go to the 9, which puts the triangle on top of the 3 squares, which is then the rocket. Now we need to go out of our hemisphere, right? Or out of our sphere of Earth into another world in order to expand and change our dimension. So do you see how the 1 through 9 just show you the normal progression of how we have to keep building and changing? And then once we get to the 9, we rocket into another planet, just for example, and then we start from 1 again, start all over again. It doesn't have to be that drastic, but this is the way the message was coming up here. It was very interesting. So we start this read with the 3 of Swords upright. The Luna or the moon, or first was the Lovers there underneath that. I don't usually go that far down, but the Lovers was upright and then the moon reversed. The 2 of Wands upright, then the 9 of Swords upright, the King of Wands reversed, and the Page of Wands upright. But all around the 3 of Swords upright here on the underlying energy. Separation after the Lover's deception, choosing a new path, suffering in silence, the King of Wands reversed, and the Page of Wands upright, which definitely can be father and child, but it also can be the masculine and his inner child. So the King of Wands reversed and the Page of Wands upright, separate or having heartache or disappointment, or lovers at the new moon or up before dawn, or with Cancer in chart and or Gemini here, choosing a new path, the twin flame path perhaps, purging the King of Wands shaman reversed at 106, the Magician and the Lovers, and the Page of Wands, the masked boy with the burning desire. So for me, it very much comes up as the masculine with his inner child. His inner child is upright, but he is reversed as the shaman. The post-war and disconnect or at a distance on a quest to get past the Knight of Cups reversed or block of jealousy, rejection, insincerity, or refusal to be loved. The Queen of Swords reversed and the King of Wands reversed, released hostage to sunshine, kids, exposure, vacation, to full energy with the sun. The Queen of Swords reversed, over post-war or virus with PTSD, and the King of Wands reversed is over the 2 of Cups reversed, in disconnect, not seeing eye to eye, or at a distance, not seeing face to face. The release of what's up there, perhaps in the attic, confronting what makes you anxious to release the prisoner by exposing all, bringing light on those not offering love. The Page of Cups is upright here with justice. The Page of Cups is that innocent, pure love energy. It can be a child who's very loving and sweet, or it can be a message of love or puppy love, with justice of the Lovers or affection with the Queen of Cups reversed, which can be a mother and child. So here we have a father and child and a mother and child, which can represent both they're both coming up the same way, that the adult is reversed and the inner child is upright. The Queen of Cups or child, or Divine Feminine and their inner child, but it could be a child and their mother and the Empress grandmother, and the King of Wands reversed, not sleeping or rising above, or awakening and coming out, the Knight of Cups reversed in separation, or heartache or issues. So now we have two, a Page of Cups and a Knight of Cups, which can be someone's kids, can be the Queen of Cups kids. Or the Empress reversed and the King of Wands reversed are receiving visitors, or their children, the Page of Cups upright, the Queen of Cups reversed, and the Knight of Cups reversed may be all their children. Focus on the Knight of Cups reversed, moody. There's focus on the Knight of Cups here. Their mood, because they can't sleep. Love rain on me, showered with gifts, or one eye covered, dead man walking or hovering without connection, or got hurt in love, unable to mount the horse again. Mother Mary, not having or not loving son. The son here feeling broken. So this has to do with a mother-son relationship. It also can have to do with ill parents, like, for example, my mother's in the Alzheimer's facility on hospice right now. So it could have to do with, visiting or taking care of ill parents. At 126 is the Magician and the Page of Wands. Here, or the Knight of Cups reversed, didn't show up or didn't show. And the King of Wands reversed is not checking in on them like they usually do, perhaps. The double whammy or double dose of heartbreak and separation or disappointment, and the King of Wands reversed with the Page of Wands upright. And then with the Knight of Swords, or then with the Knight of Cups reversed regarding the Queen of Swords reversed and or the Empress reversed, who may be one and the same person, the Queen of Swords Empress, Gemini or Libra here, and then Cancer reversed along with Leo upright and Taurus reversed, perhaps a Pisces child as well. The stars are out, dreams coming true, healing, shining light, and the Empress reversed weak and out in the cold. So that can be someone who's ill or hurt, but also someone who's mean or bossy, and obviously that comes from a weak place, right, where they were hurt. So someone who's mean or bossy, or even very much in victim mentality, right, because that can be another abusive type dark energy, because they, it still drains you. The Empress reversed being weak and out in the cold, or Aquarius, and that could be a Taurus energy too, or Aquarius upright, but Taurus reversed and Leo reversed left behind or to fend for themselves, or an ill parent getting lots of attention or visitors. Pay attention to the red flags, and beneath that was true love. This is a romance of a lifetime. And then the narcissistic Hierophant reverse comes up here, or perhaps a narcissistic marriage, or Taurus reverse walking away in the avoid dance. The Hermit upright, the man with two lovers, the King of Cups reversed, or a man with two kids that they love very much, visiting the King of Cups reversed who's not doing well. Or Taurus reversed, avoiding the Hermit and the Gemini with the King of Cups reversed, and the Hermit missing their flame, while two out by the roses or bushes, or Hermit, King of Cups reversed with one woman and thinking of another, or seeing other lovers and missing their flame while visiting the King of Cups reversed, perhaps with kids. Moderation comes up here, number 14, and beneath that domestic harmony, which is 46, the Six of Cups, the children in the garden loving each other. The end to an emotional cycle or family cycle, the Fool free to leap, looking back in order to go forward and then choose path. Surrendering to strength, or Leo or pet. Out the back Jack, Jack Sparrow, Jack shit, I don't usually curse, but there you go, jacked up, and all that jazz. The Haunting of Lizzie Borden, August 4th, 1892 came up here, and that was from goodreads.com. Could be a theft here, where the pet didn't react because they knew them, or leaving a pet behind or surrendering them to get out quickly from the situation. Aries upright, Leo upright here. The Page of Cups, or innocent love, bleeding out, fallen angel, or no longer patient, or losing temper. The King of Pentacles reversed with the Page of Wands is released from prison and or anxiety, with issues at work leaving people out in the cold, or patients coming and going, feeling left behind. And that was coming up with the medical industry now, because and I've even experienced that in my own family with my daughter, my sister, just people complaining that they can't actually see a doctor anymore, right? You're not allowed to go into an appointment. They want to do everything online. So not allowed to be seen here. So being seen again is a wound that comes up here. It's 2 o'clock, which is the High Priestess, and a lot of source energy behind it. So that was important right there. The recent past, the Five of Wands upright, fighting in a negative exchange, the Knight of Swords reversed, lashing out and manifesting big time, or the Knight of Swords reversed, lashing out at Gemini or Virgo, magician. And the Ten of Pentacles reversed, family, business, or community, or legacy, their dysfunction or loss, and a split divide, a big lie, or a need for the clarity and the truth to come out, knowing and keeping to self, even when others are demanding they tell. Perhaps the Emperor, or Aries, or Page of Wands upright in love, and the Emperor demanding to know the truth about the Queen of Pentacles or from the Queen of Pentacles reversed, offering new passion, project or growth, or being pushy or demanding, with the Knight of Wands upright arriving after the fact at 2:06, which is the High Priestess and the Lovers. Arriving after the fact, that's the Knight of Wands, in sudden events or an explosion that erupted, or only called upon in an emergency here, and then the Knight of Wands rushing in. And again, that could be the medical industry at 2, right? Just only being on call for extreme emergencies. At 2:06 is the High Priestess and the Lovers. The foundation is the Page of Swords reversed, with bad news, no news, spying, lying, or immature conversation or mean words. With the Page of Swords reversed, child, or just that message, spreading rumors, or giving silent treatment, an ego, or awakening to the Knight of Pentacles, who's offering or proposing to justice, Libra, or to pay for a divorce or legal counsel, and choosing the path of surrender to fallen angel or to their own impatience, or surrendering due to losing patience, or Libra upright surrendering to Sagittarius reversed. The Page of Swords reversed, if a child, must be an Aquarius reversed here in this read, because all of the other air signs are upright here. The central energy is reasoning, the Emperor, inspired, or with Page of Wands, who is all about a lover having offered new passion or project to the past or in the past, to siblings, kids, besties, soulmates, or twins on the outs, with the King of Pentacles reversed, dissatisfied with the King of Swords upright, defenseless after the fact, to sovereign from the past, or sovereign looking back at the Ten of Pentacles dysfunction and the synchronicities and options, taking a gamble on the one. The Emperor could be the Hermit, or the Hermit shedding light on him, the Page of Wands and Lovers, and challenged by the Three of Cups reversed, the social distancing, the bad influences, the third-party situations, and no joy, no coming together, no social life, and the Queen of Pentacles reversed, letting go to repair, fix, or mend, or make amends, or spending when she shouldn't be, ending the pain, the painful end, the betrayal, or the pain in the ass, withholding or playing hardball, waiting to magnetize in the law of attraction, to go on the journey with good news and then lead. The Ten of Swords, crying and more crying, or sick of it and then sick. Betrayal in an equitable relationship and waking up finally, or someone has pushed them out of bed. Come on, let's get going. The Ten of Cups upright, sending out the errand boy to get the sun, to get the kids, or expose all, cleaning up the act or space of guilt and shame, with the Six of Cups reversed and the Knight of Pentacles, offering help at home or delivery to home and work, working to align and walk away from all that they've built. Now the world is upright and complete, working hard to keep their balls in the air, in a split, a divide, a lie, or injustice, or a need for more information or clarity and truth, with Libra reversed and Virgo upright, and a ghosting perhaps. Hierophant reversed, and the Queen of Wands upright, which can be the same person, a Taurus fire woman, divorcing or walking away from a contract, religion, establishment, or just done. No more energy drains, excuses, or defenseless, and feeling ganged up upon, fending off unwanted advances. The Knight of Wands rescuing for the King of Pentacles reversed. Suffering in silence, the High Priestess, the secret, or their own psychic abilities. The Knight of Wands rushing, that can be a Pisces or even a Virgo too with the High Priestess. The Knight of Wands rushing into them for every little thing, feeling guilty about having walked away or walking away, planning to do it. Maybe the Knight of Wands, or he, promised the King of Pentacles reversed that he would take care of the High Priestess or the Viking Princess, or Pisces or Virgo, and never did, at 227, which is the High Priestess and the Ace of Wands, that new passion, that flame. Or the King of Wands reversed and the Page of Wands upright, and the Queen of Wands upright with the Knight of Wands upright, right? Could be a father with one child and a mother with the other child. And the Knight of Wands rescuing her, the mother, and the King, and they can be siblings as well, because one can be much older than the other. But they're all four of the Wands. The King of Wands reversed, the Page of Wands upright, the Queen of Wands upright, and the Knight of Wands upright. The Knight of Wands rescuing her, and the King of Pentacles reversed, unable to express their emotions about the Divine Feminine in the 5D world, with the Knight of Cups reversed, or the King of Pentacles reversed, turn their back on the Page of Cups, and the Knight of Cups reversed, perhaps Pisces upright and Scorpio reversed, a world apart here. In a never-ending story, near-death experience, after death of someone, and working to align and move to peace, away from unfair relationship, with the Page of Pentacles reversed, or from debt that somebody else created. The Page of Pentacles reversed, receiving big love from the Emperor in disconnect, orchestrating synchronicities, or setting the Page of Pentacles reversed up for life, or offering them options to choose from. It's just coming up as an unhealthy relationship where the Emperor's either interfering with the Page of Pentacles reversed or trying to dote on them, but they're not helping, right? They're spoiling them then, and then the child doesn't get to learn how to do things themselves. So it's like the Emperor's doing all their bidding for them or making their choices for them. Soon is divine justice, divorce, or Libra after looking back at sovereign, and that can be their own sovereignty as well, and deception, or up before dawn without a call, like someone saying, I can get up without someone calling me to wake me up and remind me. Why can't they do it, right? Or Cancer reversed, Aquarius reversed, heartbreak and or in separation, implementing a plan with the King of Cups reversed. Perhaps Libra is too busy, so Cancer reversed and Aquarius reversed have to figure out what to do with the King of Cups reversed on their own. The King of Swords upright with the High Priestess secret or their own psychic abilities, or Pisces or Virgo in separation, or Pisces or Virgo and Cancer reversed and Aquarius reversed are all heartbroken or disappointed. Libra, Pisces, and Virgo here, and Cancer reversed and Aquarius reversed here. The twin flames are seeing themselves as the Eight of Pentacles upright, working to align the world, the cycle, complete, and or the Divine Feminine and destined, or the Divine Feminine marching to the beat of their own drum, and the Divine Masculine schooling the goose and destined, the Fool free to leap away from the Ten of Cups upright and the Devil, the Capricorn or temptation, of bad influences or third-party rumors, or the Page of Swords reversed, kids and their friends. Let your friends help you. Heart-to-heart conversations and romantic feelings all come up for the twins here. Around the twins, or how they're seen, is the Seven of Pentacles reversed, which in the SIRIAN Starsea deck is the Divine Feminine's heart in the E tower, but it's reversed, the heart opening up and coming out, like it's Rapunzel coming out, in implementing a plan, grounding and integrating the Page of Cups or message of love or child, cleaning up the act or space to move, travel, and or ascend, or Pisces and Cancer here, both upright. The block here is the Queen of Cups reversed and or the King of Cups reversed. Both could be home feeling sorry for herself. They could be two living together too who don't want to be living together, the King and Queen of Cups. Home feeling sorry for themselves or sad, feeling manipulative or broken, or that the King of Cups and Queen of Cups reversed are coming together, that the block is that if they come together to live, it would be an emotional mess or lots of conditions there. The change here comes up, and even more so for the twins, is follow your dreams, forgiveness, and love. Putting it out there about or after sudden events, epiphanies, explosions, eruptions, jealousy, and rage, all exposed, the Knight of Cups reversed, Scorpio reversed, which can be a jealous person, or Pisces Page of Cups upright, a very loving all the time person. After guilt and kids or soulmates on the outs, and the Knight of Pentacles, loyal, humble servant, offering help, money, or proposal at house or home to get the work done, and then they're leaving at 248, which is the High Priestess, and the Eight of Cups, which is walking away and within. Sunshine, vacation, kids all exposed, not sleeping and rising above, or awakening to issues at work. The shadow is upright, the web, and the imbalance of the Page of Pentacles reversed, doing nothing or always asking for help, being needy, and the Emperor giving them lots of love by serving up anything they want on a platter, or picking the one for them so they don't have to make decisions for themselves. Jealousies between Scorpio and Pisces here, regardless, or regarding the Emperor gifting. There may be jealousy between kids. Leo upright, Capricorn upright here too, surrendering to the Two of Cups connection. Post-war within, of growing up, the Frog to Prince, and losing patience, or Sagittarius reversed, with Hermit or Virgo shedding light on everything. Separation, heart pain, and the Page of Swords reversed, rumors perhaps, working to align with plan or Divine Feminine's heart, conflicted by the Emperor and challenged by bad influences, social distancing, and or third party, no joy or no social life. Justice, divorce, Libra, and the Queen of Cups reversed, completely exposed, or Pisces exposing all, or on vacation, or with kids, or Leo. Capricorn surrendering to soulmate or partnership. Now done growth spurt and losing patience, needing advice on alchemizing. The King of Wands reversed, Page of Wands upright, disappointed and fighting about ghosting, apparitions, theft, or westerns perhaps, and not agreeing on what show to watch. The Page of Swords reversed, spying, lying, rumors, or immaturity of the Emperor, or logic, and the challenge being social distancing and no joy. The cycle complete, or the Divine Feminine with the world in her hand, or the world working to align with divine justice at present. With the heart of the Divine Feminine opening up, and this is like worldwide, and the Queen of Cups reversed, hurt, disappointed, or unable to get along at home, exposing all, or with Leo or kids, Sun and Fun with the Shadow or Capricorn, and surrender to connection. Done the internal war of impatience, or losing patience, or temper, or Sagittarius reversed, or Saggy, which for me always comes up as God, and that could be people who had issues with God and now have to surrender at 303, which is again the 3 of the Empress, and then another 3 of the Empress, or it could be 30 of the 4 of Wands, the Union, and the Empress, which is the Mother, the Gaia, the abundance energy. Okay, so then it was really interesting. So yesterday when I posted Seth, the name Seth had come up in my code line, and I was listening to Jen McCarty, and she was talking about her interview with Seth, which is not a really common name, so that was interesting. Maybe you're supposed to watch her interview on Seth. And when I was watching, oh yeah, so the number's definitely 503 was an Illuminati number that came up in Demons and Angels, or Angels and Demons, I forget which way it goes. And when they brought up the number 503, the pentagram and Pythagoras came up with the number 5, and then Galileo came up with number 3. And I was writing down some of the things that were standing out to me during the movie. So one of the history points he brought up when they were discussing the case was revenge for the purga, which is like purgatory, right? The purge. Revenge for the purga in 1668, and 68 came up on the license plate from the first movie that I watched was the Da Vinci Code. So in 1668, the church kidnapped 4 of the Illuminati scientists and branded them on the chest with the symbol of the cross to purge all of their sins, and executed them. They left bodies in the street to warn others about science and their rulings over the church. The Illuminati became darker at that point, but because before that point, the Illuminati wasn't considered a dark group, it just was considered the scientists and doctors, right, not of religion, having their own perspective on the beginning of the world and all of that. And they were much more peaceful then. But once the church came against them, that's when the Illuminati became dark at that point. Getting revenge by using antimatter in the movie to destroy the church. Science obliterates religion, because religion had tried to obliterate science. And the warning or the threat that was used in the movie was the Vatican City will be consumed by light, the shining star at the end of the path of illumination. And the whole movie was about the four churches on that path, on the rose line, right? The path of the four churches that would lead to the last place where the Illuminati would meet, and that's where the bomb would have been. So they had kidnapped 4 cardinals, primed. They were all the 4 cardinals primed to be Pope because the Pope had just died, and then destroy Vatican City at midnight. So things that were coming up significant, that the power of the Holy See, or the government of Vatican during the tempest, or the 9 days after the Pope dies, the Holy See has power, but the Pope has power over the Holy See. So from the other message that came up in the movie was from Santi's earthly tomb with the path of the light. On all of Rome, the mystic elements unfold. The path of light is laid, the sacred texts. Let angels guide me on the lofty quest. So the different churches they came up, Santi, which means Raphael. So Raphael came up, buried at the Pantheon, the Temple of God, 27 BC, the oldest church in Rome. And I noticed the floor in that first church they went in, and it was, I noticed it because it was a pattern that I had drawn before when I was trying to explain the quantum leap. So when you have all the squares, and then you draw the circles inside the square, and then you draw a line from circle to circle where I showed the quantum leap, that was the pattern of the floor. They alternated two different tiles. One tile was just a square within a square, you know, like outlining the square. And then the second one was a circle inside a square. And the circle, the square of the one tile was red on the outside. And the second tile, the circle on the inside was red and the outer part was yellow. So those 2 tiles were alternating throughout the whole floor. But that was significant because that's what came up for me in the quantum leap. And the journey about repeating patterns, right? So you can keep going around the same circle over and over again, or you can do an S-turn, like a sine wave, and go into the next circle and make a change and learn something new. Or you can quantum leap, which is that line across from circle to circle. If you come into 0 point, then you can quantum leap and avoid having to, you know, repeat patterns over and over again. And that the tombs were facing east to worship the rising sun. And that they were asking if this is the Christian church. New religion often adopted the existing customs in Holland, so it made the conversion less of a shock. Like Christmas 1225 was a pagan celebration of the unconquered sun, made it handy, this is his quote in the movie, makes it handy for the birth of Christ that same day. So then the next chapel of the earth was the Cappella della Terra, and then there was a pyramid in there. The next one was from the sculptures of Bernini and the angels pointing the direction of the path, the air signs being southwest, St. Peter's Square, and then the angel blowing out 5 streams of air there, the Ponenti. And then the fire church was Santa Maria, and the water was the fountain. And then the cross keys being the symbol of the papal, not the Vatican. Which was very interesting at the end of the movie, because the Pope who died, his son was like his adopted son, basically, was still a priest. He wasn't a cardinal, but he was his like right-hand man. He was his go-to person, so a lot of the cardinals trusted him very deeply. And he seems to be the kind one of the movie. But then you find out the betrayal at the end, that the son saved everyone from the bomb by flying a helicopter up and exploding the bomb, and all of the cardinals were then cheering him on, wanting to make him the next pope, even though he was so young. But the leader of the cardinals, the advisor, was advising against that, but nobody was agreeing with him. And then he ended up being right, because the son ended up being the bad guy here, because he was the one who actually did all of this, because he's so like pro-God and so anti-science. And it had to do with the antimatter that they had, the scientists had tried to get control over. So it was all about the fight for the antimatter, which, guys, the antimatter is the feminine energy. So what was coming up at the end of the movie for me was going to kill the papal, because they found out that the Pope had been killed. He didn't just die, and he was killed by the Son. So we have the Father, the Son, and then the explosion was the Holy Ghost. That is the antimatter. How cool is that? The Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. So the Holy Ghost is the spirit. It's the antimatter, but that's the divine feminine energy, right? The nothingness is the feminine, the everythingness is the masculine. And here the whole movie was about the antimatter that's very unstable and explosive, can explode if you do anything wrong, right? Which people see the feminine energy more as. So anyway, the bomb ended up being at St. Peter's tomb, because Peter was the first pope. And then I drew the picture of the keyhole in the desk. And it literally was 2 bars, one on top of each other, where one bar's they only overlap at the end, right? So one bar is a little bit higher than the other. They're on top of each other, but they're misaligned, basically, so that they just connect to a bar, right? So you have I'm trying to think of a word for what it is. So anyway, when I drew that picture, it literally is an 8 off on an angle. And then when I turned it a quarter, it becomes like a lightning bolt. But then if I turn it an 1/8, it's truly the lightning bolt, because you always see the lightning bolt on an angle. And if you take this keyhole, or the key that is 2 bars, only overlapping at the ends, and you put them together, if you see them from the perspective of the front, you would just see two bars on top of each other at the end, which would be 2 squares, which would literally be the number 8. And then if you look at them closed from the side perspective, it would be 2 bars on top of each other, just longer, but it would still represent the 8. And yeah, anyway, I was just fooling around with the key energy there. So it was very interesting. It was all around the number 8. And the ends could be circular, so it could literally be the 2 circle 8s or the 2 square 8s. It really doesn't matter, because it's still the 8 energy. And then the papal symbol being the cross keys and all of the different energies. It's red, yellow, black, and there's a little bit of green in there, not much though. And the crown is like a 3-layered cake. And each layer has 5 flowers. And the base of the crown and the 3 layers all have a diamond in the middle with 2, they're rectangles, but the rounded corner rectangles on either side. And then they each had 2 dots between each one, or 2 little circles. And the keys are gold and silver, and a lot of red with a little bit of green in the symbol. So again, the lightning, the representation of the key that I saw, because we talk about the key all the time, and how did my read start out? This is before I watched the movie. It started about the key, the dance, and then the opening. Lightning closed is the number 8. Lightning closed, the key, is the change, the lightning strike, the stroke of midnight, the strike of genius, right? That comes in suddenly. So again, in the beginning of the read, the code line was all about the trademark of 8, 7, and 3. 8 being the dance, 7 being the key, and 3 being the Trinity. The lock, the key, and then the open lock. 8, 7, 3. And then the sine waves being the 8. All of that was very significant coming up. And the 8th turn, not the quarter turn. So I'm going to pull an energy deck card here. that symbol comes up in another way. I know there's something else that's trying to come out, but I can't figure out what it is yet. It's like a, oh, that's so weird, because then in a reading I just did for someone, the window crank just came up, and the two, oh, you know those little toys you used to whip around, they make noise, what are they called? Noise makers? Where you hold the bottom and you swing it around and it makes noise. It's that swinging energy of back and forth. That's the key, right? Because two bars just joined at one end. So when expanded, they're two bars uneven, right? Because one's on top of each other. They're not exactly side by side. They're not congruent. They're on top of each other but attached at one end. So when they swing closed, they actually become two bars, or at the end, the number 8. But that's coming up. I guess those two things are coming up for a reason. The window crank and the noisemaker. That same kind of energy. All right, so for everybody watching, the best and highest of all those concerned, what do we need to know and learn? It was just 5110, which is the King of Swords and a turn for the better. From this read, let's clear all blockages to positive energy flow in all chakra layers, auric layers, grounding and galactic cords, for everyone across all dimensions of time, space, matter, and realities, for the highest good of all those concerned. And fill that empty space with only beautiful divine love and diamond crystalline light. And so it is. We have the man holding a heart. And there's the King of Swords in a turn for the better, right? Coming into his heart, allowing himself to fall into his heart. The 45 is that grieving card, the 5 of Cups, right? Grieving loss, regret, or the past, guilt and shame. All of those things can come up under this card. And then we have the World, taking a step back to see a larger perspective of the world. The 29 of the 3 of Wands, right? Just having that moment to take a step back and take it all in. Needing that moment, which for some that moment, right, can take years, right? To take a step back to be able to see the larger picture. I know for me it took a lot longer than that. I probably cried every day for almost a year and a half at least, just to get past that wounding energy. And it's not going to be the same for everybody. The next two cards, we have the door to personal healing and happiness, right? So after going through that, opens the window to rest and rejuvenation. The 34 of the energetic exchange, the arrows of love, and the 19 of the sun and fun and peace. Okay, so this is the energy coming up for the masculine. The underlying energy is the hostilities of the masculine, the 26 of the inner child, fighting for you on the inside. And the angel of strength being the 10 of cups, but also the strength card of the feminine, the strength within, right, to help the masculine get past his inner hostilities, his frustrations, right? We talk about the chariot, and that's always the feminine within the masculine, right? Because we have masculine and feminine within each of us, and also the twins are each other. So we support each other energetically. And here's coming up for the masculine's process here, right? The broken heart, the guilt and shame, stepping back to see the big picture and being very present in the moment, every moment, a very spiritual practice here. The 34 of the energetic exchange back and forth, the purification that's done, the window now open, the outside's out and the outside's in. The rest and rejuvenation, allowing yourself to be still, receive the sunshine, and be at peace once again. All right, let's see what Scooby-Doo has to say. I didn't show you my pictures. I'm so bad with that. I'm sorry, my brain doesn't always work very well. For those of you who don't know me very well, in 2016 I was jogging and I got hit by a car. So if my mind wasn't going already, from menopause and age, because I'm 59, after I got hit jogging, I had a really bad concussion, so my recall isn't very good right now, although I'm fine. But I just want you to know why sometimes I forget to do things. So if you could forgive me, I truly appreciate it. All right, so Scooby-Doo. All right, that was kind of interesting. That never happened to me before. It literally came up just like this. King of Wands wants to come up upright as well. So this is the Six of Wands. And Six of Wands is the journeyman, right? The leading the way. And here we have the Queen of Wands, who may be feeling like come see, come saw right now, right? Kind of in the middle, neither here nor there. And then we have on the King of Clubs also jumped out here with them. So you see how beautiful that is. It's like she's taking a back seat now so that he can get his footing and get his energy back, right? This journey, right? With good news coming in, leading the way. The feminine taking a back seat, right? Being a backseat driver is coming up right here, and then letting the masculine drive. That's a cool message, guys. That's all wand energy again. All right, that's a good message here. And then the underlying energy is coming out the Two of Swords reversed, which is getting clarity in the situation. Perhaps you needed to fall off the swing and get your head, like me, I fell jogging and knocked my head on the street. Maybe you needed that to get clarity in the situation, to learn how to be still and be in the moment. Okay? Well, that was a cool one. All right, let's get you a Journey of Love card. All right, let's see here. So what was that, around 55 minutes that I put the picture of the cards up? So if you guys want to timestamp that, you can. All right, let's see what comes up from the Journey of Love, our takeaway from this read. Very pure and simple. And this is kind of like the dove that you saw in that picture, who was all done purifying and now flying in and out of the window, enjoying their clean surroundings. And that doesn't mean clean that your house has to be perfect clean. Just energy-wise, the 67 of the Knight of Pentacles, the swan, the beauty of something that's just pure and simple. The loyal, humble servant is the Knight of Pentacles. Then we have fire and ice, right, which is that a very different energy. 37 is the King of Cups, the unconditional love of fire and ice, the change, the expansion, that the change is love. And then we have the earth, and you see how these kind of like, it's like they merged to become this, right? So this energy settled this energy down, and this energy gave a little spice to this energy in order to bring up the earth angel with all the colors of the rainbow, but in a nice smooth way. And here's the moon up here, fading into the background, not being as much of an issue anymore. The 54 is the Page of Swords, the message, the news, spreading the word. So the fire and ice represents the masculine and the feminine, and the beauty in both, and that they can be merged into something beautiful. There is a lot of feminine energy here, probably because the other deck brought up all masculine energies. And this is very much like a bird on the branch. The fire and ice is, she's looking into a tunnel and not sure how she's going to get to the other side because there's so much chaos on the blue side and the red side. There you go. That could be political. And she's wondering, do I really want to go there? And needing to just walk through. And there she is standing inside, in the middle of it, enjoying the peace and quiet there. And that could even represent the sun. The golden white light, surrounding herself in the golden white light to get her through anything here. So the bottom of the deck Gifts received is the next one, all right? So look how different all 4 of these are, totally different energies. 13 is the transition, the transformation, getting to the other side and seeing the orbs. Now you can see all of this stuff, having gone through this transition. The bottom of the deck is falling. There's the feather, the lightness, the 14 of the angels. All of this can happen when you allow yourself to just fall and go with the flow. All right, so we're going to read the Swan. Bye, Chew. Have fun. All right, 14, falling. Don't worry. You may fear you're falling, but it's just your soul diving deeper into the ocean of bliss. You're sensing parts of your life flying away from you, out of your control, as the momentum of your divine surrender takes over and becomes more powerful than the old adhesive between you and what no longer serves. Laugh, cry, celebrate, and ponder. Whether it makes sense or not, you're likely a perfectly ripe fruit falling from the universal tree, succulent and ready to be enjoyed for all that you are. If you wait any longer, this moment will be lost and you'll end up on the ground, having to decay and go to seed in order to start the whole process again. This is not so bad, but what a shame if your sweet nectar was not to be savored by a hungry world. You deserve to be declared the most delicious, juicy fruit that ever was. So fall. You'll end up exactly where you're meant to be. This oracle contains a message for you. You're being called closer into divine union and into the fulfillment of your destiny now. It's safe for you to trust what is happening. Go with it. It might seem like you're being asked to take a leap of faith. It's the right timing for that. It's your time to give yourself in love without holding back anything of yourself. And the poem simply states, is it wrong to love, to feel what I hold inside? The answer must wait. Okay, guys, I think I gave you enough to ponder. Make sure you drink your water, get your rest, get your joy, get your nature. Be so good to yourselves. And as always, guys, rise and be love. I will see you very soon. Have an amazing day and night. Bye, guys.